Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome, dear viewers around the globe, to Book Review. A staple question of economic history is why Europe achieved industrialization and achieved progress economically, and the Muslim world lagged behind. Some might claim that Islam is a barrier to economic progress, but that's wrong. Instead, Islam urges the Muslim to be at the toppest of all fields. Today, our book for today is an example of an organization that not only succeeded, but also it reflects the case and the achievement of a whole nation that made a progress out of a financial crisis that it went through and moved and prospered and created an economic miracle. Our book for today is The Toyota Leaders by Masaki Setou, translated by Justin Bonsai. We're joined today by Engineer Mohammed Sewi, the marketing manager at Nilesat, to review this book. Engineer Mohammed, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Let's start today by talking about the organization. Toyota, as an organization, is a very successful one. An organization that managed to lead the car industry through generations. Let's elaborate on that and talk about Toyota, how it started and how it developed to become one of the leading automotive companies.
Well, going through this book, it gave me a very a clear view how a leader should be and how a legacy could pass from generation to next. Toyota, it's not about enterprise, it's not about organization, it's about a dream that started with a gentleman who dreamed of having a simple machine to be working and to be sold to ordinary people. This legacy started in 2 centuries ago almost. And they started by a very small machine, and they started by applying it to the market before configuring or having an idea to go commercially. Toyota, at the very heart and the very core, it is a message, it is a belief.
What's the message?
The message is we are doing everything accurately, with quality. And this would never happen without loyalty. Toyota, throughout this trip or this journey of management, they have been establishing or concentrating or focusing on 2 main things. The first one is technology, and the second one is loyalty. With technology, they have been studying, they have been struggling, and they have been trying to reach the best level of quality and quality management. It's not a secret that one of the I would say ways or science of quality management, which is called Six Sigma, has been adopted and started by Toyota.
So they started the Six Sigma. My question here is that, as you said, Toyota started, as we can say, from scratch. Do you think it's possible for Muslims to have similar organizations? Or what's your advice at this point, when we're talking about the start of Toyota, to Muslim businessmen or to Muslim organizations? Why do Muslims or Muslim organizations lag behind? And we want you to link between the success or the start of such an organization and Muslim organizations.
If I may say and speak of myself and what I really believe, that the real reason of this, that Muslims are not following their religion as they should.
Excellent point.
The Japanese people are following Islam without knowing it. Is the first one is to work as you should.
Excellent.
Never lie.
Excellent.
Give everyone and everything its right. If you could follow this, you'll be successful. And first of all, to believe in what you're doing. Not only Toyota, there is several stories, successful stories around the globe, which started by a very small belief or very small dream in someone, started in the mind of someone, and it started to spread. Why it started to spread? Because people had believed it and they started to promote it and to work on it. There is a misconception about the meaning of business in the Muslim world versus in the Western world.
What's that?
In Muslim world, the aim of business is to make money. In Western business is, of course, everyone wants to make money, but with making money, they're building a brand.
They are building a brand.
Brand. It's a branding. You're building an image. You're building a core of belief. You're making a core of story. This is what Toyota has done. They have been working through. They have been promoting the idea and the legacy of Toyota. How we started. We have built our factory in 1938. It was bombed, and we started to rebuild it again. We didn't crack. We went through. Even when we started to conquer the market, and we have faced the political pressure from the states in the early 80s, they did not stop. They struggled. So other manufacturers started to promote the idea of Toyota as modest cars or cheap cars. They said, no, we can do it. What they have done, that in one of the exhibitions, the international exhibitions, they introduced a new car which called Lexus. At that time, no one knew what is Lexus. Who is behind it? Amazingly, in this exhibition, they won the first prize. Later on, they have announced that Toyota is behind Lexus. They have proven to the whole world that they can do anything they set mind on it. If you go through the story of Lexus, you're going to find
a very
that
luxurious car.
a very luxurious car, of course, and
competes with Mercedes and
BMW.
Yeah.
If you went through the story of Lexus, you're going to see the first one is loyalty. The engineers who worked on it,
they were loyal.
They were loyal to Toyota, and they wanted to make the name of Toyota the best name. The second one is the inspiration. They were inspired by Toyota legacy. And you're going to find motivation. They were motivated that if you were successful in making Lexus the best car in the whole world, you're going to be rewarded. And part of building the loyalty of Toyota, which maybe I'm a little bit drifted from the original question.
No, we're not off point. We're talking in the question, and you may continue on that, because we will link that to the deficiencies and the false understanding that Muslims have about their religion, which unfortunately is not implemented by non-Muslims, by organizations that practice the teachings of Islam, although they're not Muslims.
Exactly. And if you go to the history of Toyota, Toyota is not, in its concept of management, they are not running a business or an enterprise. More or less, they are running a family.
Okay.
They are considering each employee as a part of a family. They have learned a lesson in a very hard way. Around the 1930s, a crisis, Toyota went through very hard financial crisis. So the first time in history of Toyota, they started to lay off employees. They faced demonstrations. They faced protests. And then they reached to an agreement with labor organizations at that time that they will keep the rights of the employees, they will keep the right of the workers, and so.
So they were just, and that's another value that they had, which is originally part of the values of Islam.
Exactly.
Excellent point.
And then they came, since then, Toyota never laid off any single employee since that time. They closed factories, whole factories, but they never laid off anyone. Why? Because if you felt that your career could be in jeopardy in no time, you wouldn't sacrifice your time, your health, your life for this organization. Instead, Toyota is looking after your health, your family, and not only the health of your family, the education of your children. And your children are educated to be loyal to Toyota. And then when they grow up, they have vacancies and they have availability to work and priority to work in Toyota. They have built this concept, the family concept, that I'm not working for an enterprise, I'm working for my family.
Excellent point. We will go to a short break, and after the break, stay tuned to more book review. Welcome back, dear brothers and sisters. This is Book Review, and our book for today is The Toyota Leaders. Welcome back, Engineer Muhammad. Toyota provides extraordinary focus, direction, and control, while at the same time it provides maximum flexibility. That's, I believe, that solves the old dilemma: control versus flexibility. Can you reflect upon that?
Toyota is working on a very tight scale and standard of certain level of quality in every single screw in the car. However, they are really flexible when it comes to market change. They can cope with it. In market demand, for example, people don't like the car to be having the sedan type, for example. They don't like it for certain areas. So, okay, you can have a regular car with the same aspects. They work on it. Of course, there is a control, there is everything, but they are really flexible to this. Many automotive cars, many manufacturers are flexible, but not as flexible as Toyota. Toyota, when they came with this, they call it scandal. At that time, there were some misdesign in the brakes of Toyota. Toyota didn't wait for long.
I think that was like 2 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3, 4.
They didn't wait for long. They have made an announcement with apology, and they said, okay, we are so sorry for that. And they pulled out the cars, and they have fixed it, and they said, we'll never do that again.
Ethics.
And flexibility.
Excellent point. Now I want to talk about something in the organization. As you know, Toyota is a very strong organization. The management and the hierarchy, the business hierarchy, is very well settled. But sometimes problems happen. Whenever problems happen, there are a way to deal with them. Some organizations, they deal with the problem by blaming or firing the person responsible for the problem or for the mistake. In Toyota, which is highlighted in the book, they avoid pointing who the person or firing or pinpointing the person that made the mistake. Instead, they work together to fix the mistake. Can you reflect upon that?
As I said, they are focusing on the legacy and the loyalty concept in the organization by itself. They are, whenever there is a mistake, it's not your mistake only, it is our mistake as a whole. We'll be working all together. Imagine with me, if in certain organizations someone has made a mistake and then he will be blamed for this. The first thing that if he noticed such a mistake by himself, the first thing that he would do, what? To cover it.
That's true.
And to cover it, and then he will make the small elephant to grow with time. But if he's secured enough that if he announced that there is a certain mistake, there is something that we should work on it, and he will be secure that he will not be blamed or be punished or anything like that, he will be doing it and sincerely will be working to recover it. In so many organizations that we live now, you can see that the top management is throwing the blame on the lower management. Even in politics, some leaders, they put the blames on the younger leaders just to avoid the criticism from
the higher managers,
the higher management, or the public or the mass media, to cover his back. But in Toyota, no. As I said, we are working for the family. So if I committed a mistake, I'm hurting my family. So I am the one who will be working harder and harder to recover this mistake.
Excellent point. The essence of the book is about leadership. Toyota established leaders through generations. Can you talk to us about this very important part which every organization which needs to continue should have?
Any leader, any good leader, as Napoleon once said, a good leader who creates other leaders. In Toyota, as it is a family business, so the oldest one, the oldest leader, he is looking after his successor. How this organization will survive after him. So he select one, and then he started to teach him what he knows, and he tried to put him in the day-to-day problems and to see how he's going to fix it. And then when he started, they don't wait till this leader to pass away or to get sick or so. No.
They already have a new leader.
Is a leader by himself. He feels that it's time to step down. And then he appoint another one, his successor, who has been preparing him for years, and say, okay, you can come, and now you are the leader of Toyota. In the book, the author, he is pointing to at a point for the fifth leader. He asked him, after he stepped down and still he's in the board of Toyota, he asked about how Toyota is going on now. he said, I don't know nothing. If you have to, go and ask the current president. So there is continuity, there is trust in the successor, and there is respect for the ancestors.
So this is the secret behind their success, and all these morals, all these values that you mentioned and that are mentioned in the book belong or are essential parts of our religion. And unfortunately, Muslims falsely or intentionally sometimes stray away from these teachings and these values, and maybe this is the reason why the organization or organizations that belong to Muslims never become as strong as such organizations that are unfortunately only in the hands of non-Muslims, such as Toyota or other organizations, just like we mentioned, European or maybe American. They become multinationals, they grow, they prosper, they become countries in their countries, as strong as basically countries in their financial assets and their financial transactions. So do you think that if Muslims implement the teachings of their religion, is this a reason for them to have strong organizations, or do you want to add to that other things that we didn't mention?
There is an old say, if you don't like what you're doing, if you are not doing what you like, you have to like what you're doing. I would like to point that you have to love and believe in what you're doing. I'm not going to do this to make money. This is what in strategy, science, and and management courses they teach you, that you have to believe in what you're doing. It's not the aim for you is to make money. You can make money by a lot of things, but why does it make sense to work on this particular subject to make money? Simply, you have to believe in it. Like any religion, I'm not talking only about Islam, but in any religion, all the prophets, they were successful in delivering their message because they have believed in it. If they did not believe in it and they worked only for the reward from Allah at the end of the world,
they work for both.
But basically, they believed in the message.
They believed, yeah, I understand. I get your point.
Because to achieve a goal, you have two things. First, the inspiration, and then the motivation. The inspiration, you are inspired by believing in the core of this message. I want to deliver this message. I want it to be successful. I want to make it to everybody available. And motivation, that is the reward, al-Jannah, bi'Iznillah, at the end.
Excellent point. Engineer Muhammad Sawi, Marketing Manager at Nilesat. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you too, dear brothers and sisters, for watching this very exciting episode of Book Review. Our aim today is to give hope for Muslims to work hard, return to the religious teachings and values, and inshallah we have strong economies. Inshallah we can achieve and have strong organizations with efficient products and demand for our products. Thank you very much. Until the next episode, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.